Welcome to In Hindsight, showcasing local New Mexico. I'm your host, Day, and today we have our guest, Rebecca.
Hi, it's nice to meet you all.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
So you are a fitness instructor.
I am.
And I'm not an exercise person. I mean, I do want to work out more, and I think there's like people out there that like want to give it a chance. I think some people are intimidated when they think about gyms. They're like, oh, too many, too much, too many classes. I don't even know how to start and stuff. So like if somebody comes in, like what do you usually like advise or like for somebody who's like new or just starting out?
Okay, well, I teach, so my group fitness, I teach cycling, and that's what I teach the most. I also teach a program called CORE, and we'll get into that later. But what I would say is I would take a look at the schedule, and then I would decide, we have descriptions off every single class of what the class kind of is going to be like or entails, and find something that maybe you would think is fun. So cycling for me is a lot of fun, and I think it's a great workout. And so what I would say is just go into the class and then let the instructor know that you are new, and we will help you and tell you a little bit about the class, and if there's anything that you need to set up, particularly on the bike, I help people set up the position on the bike to make sure their knees are safe and they have a proper setup. So that's what I would start with, and then obviously go through all of the different classes and just try different ones until you find something that you really like.
Yeah, that's really great. I think people like get so intimidated and they feel like, oh, I don't want to be that person to like try on everything. They think like, I'm not going to commit or I'm not going to do anything. And I think like that's one of the things is just like pick something that it would even sound fun or exciting, because I know for a fact I'm not an exercise person. And that's why like I love dancing, because like it's fun for me. So like
Right.
classes that are like, incorporating dance or like something fun that like, because like I can run in a treadmill for an hour.
Right.
But I'm bored as hell and I'm just like counting the minutes and like, that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I just want to get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like when you pick like a group fitness class and you commit to it, it is a commitment. So you are going into this class and you kind of, you're there, so you're probably going to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So chances are you're going to do it. But with every single class, you could decide whether or not how long you want to stay for. I know that, so the program I teach is RPM, and it's through a program called Les Mills, and we have what's called a Smart Start. And so that is taking half of the class and then leaving. So if there's 8 tracks, so 8 tracks is what I do for RPM, you stay to track 4, and then you can just get off your bike, wipe it down, and head out. And then come back the next day and try to add a different class. And so I feel like that's another good place to start, and I feel like it's more of a commitment. It's more of, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can finish this. It's more of a group setting where everybody kind of encourages you to exercise or to be healthy or to whatever your reason is to be at that gym or while you're doing the workout.
Yeah, and I think like for people, it feels daunting because they feel like, oh, if I only stay here for 10 minutes, like right. I feel like a loser or like I'm not even trying, But I think people forget it's just like everything can be a habit.
Right.
If you start 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like that's better than nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, even the ones who are like, oh, I only can stay for like 20 minutes, they end up staying for the whole class. Yeah. So because it's doable, it's maintainable. You go at your own pace. You don't have to do everything I say. I'm up there so that way you don't have to think about the workout and you could just do what I say and get a workout. And yeah, but either way, it is your workout. And it's, one of my coworkers had told me one time, this is your tour and I am your tour guide.
Aww.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I am your tour guide, and you need to do what you need to do to finish or to not even finish the class. But whatever makes you feel successful is what I'm there for, is to help you feel successful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So for people that like, I know like Pelotons are like so popular right now, right? But like there's always like that expectation and reality, because like people think like I'm gonna get a bike and I'm gonna ride it an hour a day.
Right.
It's not realistic. So like people that like
Sure.
never done it before but are like curious about it, I think your program is actually a better fit, because then they're not stuck with a bike for a whole year, right?
Right. They're not stuck with a bike. They're not okay. So I have a bike at my house, and I got it because of the pandemic, right? So I ordered one because there's pandemic, and this is what I love to do. I do it outside too. However, sometimes it's cold or the weather doesn't permit, or I have my kid with me. So so I did buy one, and it just gets dust on it.
Oh,
I do enjoy the group aspect of going in. It is a different feeling than just having somebody up on your screen and doing it alone. It's more encouraging, I feel like, if you just go to the gym.
because it feels
and
like
you
a community.
It is.
right?
It is absolutely a community. And before I was a group fitness instructor, I was just a participant. And that's what I loved about it. I love the fact that people got to know my name, they got to know
Your
my
journey,
life, my
right.
journey, my kid's name, just kind of what I do and what I like.
It's very
and
personable.
It is very personable, and I get to know my members like that too, and I get to celebrate some of their celebrations. Like we just had somebody get married, and that was really exciting, and just little things like that. Like we had one of my other members had their grandchild for the very first time, their very first one, and she was really excited about that. And yeah, it becomes a community. You're just not a participant anymore. You are a member. You are cared for.
Yeah.
So
You're part of the group now.
Yes, you're part of the group now. Yeah.
So like for people that like never done cycling before, and I think like it is a little like scary to look at, because like like you're just like, oh, this is not like a bike, like a regular bike. Maybe it's a little bit complicated. Like how do you guys like ease out, and like how do you make people feel it's okay, it's not like that complicated? Because I think people also try to complicate things in their head, like, oh, this is more complicated than I think. And how
Right.
big are your classes usually?
Well, it just depends on the size, and it depends on the day. My classes probably range. There's about 20 bikes in my studio, and they range about 15. I get about 15 participants for me. Some of just depending on the time, some of the other instructors get maybe they do max out their bikes. They get 20. So it just depends on the time and the location, and just kind of just how many people are there that day. Sometimes their highs and lows during the holidays are usually not as many. You have hobbies, you got things to do. I teach on a Sunday, and sometimes, every single bike is full, and then other days, we get like 5. And it's usually because it's a long weekend, so President's Day is coming up, and so I expect my numbers to be a little bit low, and people are traveling, and it's because I teach on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's okay too. So
That's great. And actually, like the reason why you decided to be a fitness instructor is like your journey that you went to.
Yeah.
And like I think
Yep.
like our viewers would like be able to relate to it.
yeah, so I was 275 pounds, and that was almost 10 years ago, so 9.5 years ago. And I wanted to do something about it, so I got a membership to a gym, and I started off on the treadmill, actually, just like how you said, right? I started off on the treadmill, and I started walking on the treadmill, incline, everything, just trying to burn calories, trying to get fit, and it wasn't working.
It was
I mean, I
unsatisfying.
was losing weight like that because my diet was pretty good, but it was boring. I was so bored, and one day I decided to look at the group fitness schedule and try it out, and I'll tell you my story. I did try it out, and I was so scared I left. I did. I didn't stay long. I stayed like 15 minutes. 15 minutes of the class. That was like probably it. And I told myself, well, okay, I'm gonna go back And so I went back, and this time I stayed for the whole thing. And you know what? It's doable. And at that time, I was very heavy, and the instructor made me feel really good after I finished the class, and it was a lot of positive comments, and it was just all positive. There's no negative in it, and people were really proud of me, and I wanted to come back, so I did go back, and I started making it become a habit and then a hobby. So it wasn't a habit anymore. It was a hobby. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed. They're my friends now, and it's been almost 10 years.
Wow.
You know, these ladies are fantastic, and guys go too, and just everybody, the members are great, and I started making friends. So then it just became, I'm going to go see my friends.
Yeah.
I don't have to go anywhere to see my friends. I could go to the gym and see my friends. I don't need to call. Like, I'm just going to go. I'm going to see my friends. And from there, it became coffee dates. Like, you want to go to coffee after this? This would be fun, or lunch. And it just made me feel so good that I wanted to continue this. And from there, I lost 150 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, I lost 150 pounds in 13 months.
That is really good.
I loved it so much that I decided that, going in the morning was just not enough. So I was like, I'm going to go in the evening too, because this is so much fun. And then you go to multiple classes, and then you just pick which ones you enjoy. And you go to the ones that you enjoy, and it's a lot of fun. You don't have to think about it. Somebody tells you what to do. You just go, you get your workout in. We're also big on form and making sure that participants have the right form. And so I learned a lot. And I'll tell you a funny story, is that one of the first classes I ever took was body pump. And I think that's the one I left early too. But the second time I went, there's an instructor, and she told me that I didn't know how to do a squat.
Oh, wow.
So she spent like 10 minutes after class and showed me the proper form on how to do these moves. And she cared enough to show me how to do them. So, and that's something that you can also ask your instructor if you don't know how to do a move. But I thought, that was really big for me. And I might have felt a little bit embarrassed, but I also felt just like kind of almost loved
And cared for.
Yes.
Yeah, like she paid attention to you enough that, like, because I think also people forget, it's just like, because like when people work out for the first time, because I do sporadically go on and off and on and off.
Right.
Like everybody's just like, oh, my body is hurting. It's supposed to be like this. And it's like, sometimes it shouldn't. It's just like you're doing the exercise wrong. You're using the equipment wrong.
Right.
So like sometimes we're so scared to ask questions. We don't want to look like we're dumb or, that kind of stuff. But like the fact that like instructors like actually put in the time, had pay attention and saw that like, hey, your form was not correct. Let me, that's why. And also you're not maximizing your exercise.
Right. You want to make sure first you're safe. Like safety is priority. And if you're not doing something right, you're probably not safe. We want to make sure you're safe. And then, if you're not doing something right, you are not maximizing the move or something like that. So she did put in that time after, and I just started loving it so much, and that I started doing it. So I wanted to start instructing it myself.
So like how did you actually get started? Do you just like this, do most like gyms or like facilities, do they actually give you opportunities? Or like did they tell you there's classes that you need to get certified in?
So it just depends on what program you want to be certified in. The gym that I teach for has a lot of programs. They're called Les Mills. And they're a company based out of New Zealand. And they do a lot of like scientific programs. And so it's all based on science. Kind of what instruction you're going to use. And so they have lots of different programs. So one of them is like body pump, and that is a barbell class. And so you're lifting weights, and it's kind of like a full body workout. I mean, we're doing all the major muscle groups. So you do your legs, you know, you're doing squats, you're doing lunges, you're doing triceps, biceps, so on, shoulders, chest. And so there's that, and then there's RPM, which I do, and that's a cycling class, so it is programmed. And then
So what does RPM means for people like they don't know?
it's revolutions per minute. It's
okay.
on the bike. So
okay.
revolutions per minute, all that just means
So it's
is-
kind of like when you like check your Fitbit and tell you like, oh, you made
no
2,000 steps
revolutions
today.
per minute. Yeah, kind of like so. Revolutions per minute is how fast your feet are moving in a circle per minute.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's all it means. And so but they call the program Les Mills RPM.
Oh, okay.
And so that I teach that, and I also teach when I sub out classes like mixed cycles. So that's your own music and your own choreography, which is fun too. And so anyway, so if you want to go and do something like this, there are trainings, and you have to do the training. And again, it depends what program you're using. For my program that I particularly use, you go online and you find a training, and you sign up for the training, and it's a 2-day training, and they're both 8 hours. And so you're there all day for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So you get to spend lots of time together, and you learn how to instruct. You learn what is good form, and you also learn how to memorize choreography because it's choreographed.
Oh, okay.
So you memorize the choreography, you learn the tempo, you have the music, so you have everything in your hands, and they teach you how to use that and become the best instructor that you can be. And so again, you sign up for a training. Actually, where I work, they're going to have a training. I think it's in April. I have to look it up, but I think it's in April, and it's for 2 programs called Core and Grit. I do teach Core. Core is a 30-minute, it's core, so it's a 30-minute core workout. And so it utilizes a lot of balance. It utilizes a lot of your core as far as like what body part you're using. Like sometimes like we're doing our backs, our shoulders, and we use a lot of resistance bands with that. And then Grit is a high intensity, very hard class.
Okay. So like for people that like, you know, some people don't like never done the gym, or like they think like, oh, I should know core, but they don't. But like what are the difference for like core and Grit? Like are you trying to like gain muscles? Are you trying to
So
lose
Grit
weight?
is high intensity interval training. So everything is you work to your max. It's only 30 minutes, but it is not fun. No, I'm just joking. It's fun, but it's very challenging.
Very
It's very
intense.
hard.
Okay.
You work to your max. That being said, everybody's max is different. So you get the instructions, you do maybe a lot of burpees, or you do a lot of like frog jumps or mountain climbers or whatever it is for the day that the instructor is teaching. And so there is core strength, so there is muscle building in that, but it's more getting your heart rate all the way up to bring it down, right?
And like how
So
long is that class usually?
It's 30 minutes.
It's 30 minutes.
It's
And
all
Grit?
it needs to be.
And Grit
Grit is 30 minutes, and so is core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the class that I teach in particular is 45, and then body pump is an hour. And when you look on the schedule, it'll say how long the classes are. So.
But do you, like if somebody who wants to like be crazy fit, would you recommend them like doing like both? Because like I think also the difference is like people just think, well, it's just exercise, it's just an hour. Like I can do core and Grit like at the same day. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people do core and Grit at the same
Okay.
day because they're very different programs.
Oh, okay.
So one is really, really high intensity training, and the other one is you're more focusing on a body part, or you're focusing on, well, your core, right? You're focusing on that balance. You're focusing on, and core is great for everybody, even like, doesn't matter what age you're at, because because I feel like anyone can do it. There's always options. It's very low impact.
Because do you use equipment for it, or it's pretty much just your body?
You do. You use bands. There's a lot of resistance bands, sometimes plates, and those are optional, and you don't have to, just like all of the programs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like, since you're a fitness instructor, like, take us like on a day of like what do you usually eat, like how, like when do you usually work out? Because I know like people go on YouTube and online and they tell you exercise in the morning, exercise before you eat, don't eat this before you exercise, drink protein, like that kind of thing. I think
So I'm not a nutritionist,
Yeah.
but I am a group fitness instructor, and so this is just personal, like what I do and what helped me lose, 150 pounds, and to keep it off for almost 10 years. So that's a long time, even after I had a kid.
Wow, yeah.
So
that's-
even after I had a kid, it's just, I think, it's always calories in, calories out, right? But the calories out should be enjoyable. So that's where group fitness comes. I work out in the morning. That's just when I have the most energy. I am an early morning. I am that 5:30 a.m.er. That's what I am. By the evening, I'm probably so tired I can't even function. So I work out when I can function, and if that is at 5:30 a.m. We have 5:30 a.m. classes. We have 5 a.m. classes at some locations. So there's always options, right? So I just say, you pick a time that works for you. You pick a time that's convenient with your schedule, and you do it. You just go, and so a day in life for me looks like, well, I get up and I have 3 classes on the schedule, and unless I'm subbing, I'll get up and do my own workout. Like I will go to a class because I still love it. Even though I teach it, I still love it. And so I will go and do a class, and a lot of the times it is at 5:30 a.m. Like I do early morning because I'm up. And I also have a son, so by the time I get home, I can get him ready to school, and then off to school.
Yeah, because you have a schedule,
Right,
you have a
right.
routine. Yeah.
So I have a routine. So I get him off for school, and then I do volunteer at his school a couple days a week. But and I eat breakfast. It's like a normal day in a normal person's life. I am a stay-at-home mother, so this job is just for what I call fun money. Like it's for vacation, or it's for if I want a new pair of pants, I don't have to ask my husband for that because it is my own money. It is something that I earn myself, and it's something that I enjoy.
No,
So-
I think that's really great because I think people also would like to know how flexible your schedule is.
Your flexi is pretty. You're okay. So you're flexible. It's very flexible. So we have. So I teach 3 classes per week, right? And they're all cycling. And so I teach on Sundays. I teach on, and then I teach actually 2 on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I teach at 5:30, and then I teach at 9:30 a.m. But it is very flexible. We have a great support system where we work, and if you need what's called subbing out your classes, there's always usually somebody available to do that. So if you want to go on vacation, there's normally somebody always is supporting you and's got your back to teach your classes, and then vice versa, right? You teach other people's classes. But it is pretty flexible. You have your main classes and you teach them. But if I can't pick up a subbing job, or if I can't teach that day, we always can work around it.
Oh, okay.
So
And
yeah.
then you usually have a pretty regular schedule because you have your main classes.
I have my main classes, which is pretty regular, and then I usually do sub out. It just depends on. So during December, I sub out a little bit more. People are on vacation. People are with their families. Also in spring break is going to come up, so I foresee that. Well, I'm not going anywhere, so I foresee that I'll probably also pick up a couple more, and then in the summertime, it's always crazy. It's always who's here?
I think
who's
that's
gone?
I think summertime is you gotta have that beach body. You gotta have your summer girl moment. So everybody wants to be fit. Everybody wants to look good because you gotta show off your body and stuff, right?
Right. If you want to, if that's your goal, I feel like a lot of our instructors and a lot of our instructors encourage more being healthy than like having a summer hot body, right?
Yeah.
It's like come to the gym. You got to feel healthy. You got to feel good about yourself. Whatever that is to you, is I'm going to leave that up to you.
Yeah.
Okay. But whatever that is to you, so I think it's just being healthy. It's being active in your older age. That starts now.
Oh, okay.
Right? That starts now. We have members who are 75
Oh, wow.
and they still come to these classes.
Yeah. They don't
and
play around.
No, they don't. They don't play around, and it's because they've been doing this their entire life. And even if you are at that age and you want to start, you can.
Yeah.
You can. The more active you are and the older that you get, the more mobile you're going to be.
Yeah.
And that's really important, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's why like I said, it's like sometimes exercise can be daunting. You know, I think start somewhere little.
Right.
You know, even if it's like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes here.
Right.
It's just all about like making healthy habits, like sustaining them,
Right.
that kind of thing. And it's like, I think like people just think it's just like, oh, January is already over, which is like, you know, the
Right.
fitness thing, like new year, new me kind of thing. So they're just
Right,
like, oh, I
right.
already missed that deadline. So like maybe I should wait, you know, that
Right.
kind of thing, right?
Right. And so when I start my fitness journey, I started in June. Like it wasn't January. I was like, all right, I'm going to start this. June 1st is when I signed up for a membership, and I was like, we're going to do this. Just going to do it. And so, yeah, I started in June. So it doesn't matter when you start. It just matters that you are starting.
Oh, okay.
Right, that we start being consistent. But, you know, if you want to start in January, that's great too. But just be consistent and also start off small. So you don't have to go every single day, right?
Yeah.
Pick 3 days a week. If group fitness is your thing and that's what you want to do, go and look on the schedule and say, hey, I can make it to these 3 classes, and make sure it's an appointment every single time.
Yeah.
It is my appointment. I have to make it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And you have to like stick to your schedule,
Right.
and like make a commitment.
You have to, yes.
Yeah.
Stick to your schedule and make a commitment. It is your job to be there.
Yeah. And I think
Right.
that's why like I think like when you said also it's like your like it's not just your job, like your position as a fitness instructor is actually more flexible. I think people just, you know, because, you know, celebrities,
Right.
you know, and they all have like their own fitness instructors and, you know, their own personal trainers, and
Sure.
like people think like, oh, I can never do it part-time because, you know, you have your clients, you devote your time with them, that kind of thing. And I think like people kind of like make a smaller window of opportunity.
Right.
And I think that's why like I'm glad that you're here, so like people can see that like, oh, I'm a student, right? I
Right.
can only do this much and this much in work, you know, or like I'm a mom, I have kids.
Right.
Like I don't want them to think like I'm a mom, I can't be a fitness instructor.
Oh my gosh, if you're a mom, it's fantastic. You get to take your kid somewhere else. Someone else gets to watch them while you get to work out or you get to instruct, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I can bring, if I'm subbing out a class, or so we have childcare at our gym, which is like amazing. It's fantastic. It's the best thing ever.
I feel like
promise.
a lot of gyms do offer
Right.
that now.
Right. A lot of gyms do, and we offer it as well. And we offer it now in all of our locations, and we have a lot of them throughout the city. So we offer them in all of our locations, and if you wanted to be a fitness instructor, you can bring your children. They take your children and they watch them while you get to instruct that class and you know, and do your job, and it's great. And even if you are not and you're a participant, that we call them participants, and you're a participant, then it's fantastic just to bring your kid in.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, somebody else is watching them. It's great.
Yeah.
Somebody else is watching them, and you get to go do something fun. It's the best feeling ever.
Yeah. And I think like that's why like people think about it. It's just like, now I gotta work out, and then now I gotta get a babysitter, you know, to like
Right.
watch my kids. When
Right.
like, you know, actually, and I think also it instilled this idea, you know, even to your children, that like, you know, you are doing something healthy,
Right.
right? And I think
Right.
that's the thing too. Is like you're passing in that mentality to your
Right.
children, right? So like it becomes like natural, because like then they become, active in sports or like,
Right.
in healthy stuff, because they're like, it's like, oh yeah, my mom goes to the gym all the
Right.
time. She does all this stuff and it's also like you said, it's like for you, it's fun. So like, you don't go to the gym and it's just like, I just gotta go to the gym. I gotta lose this
Right.
weight, whatever.
Right.
You're actually going there because it's something they enjoy. It's something like, it's not just because people always say this is like, oh, just exercise, you get endorphins. I'm like, yeah, after, but I want to be happy while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people are just like, just walk around your neighborhood like at 35 degrees. No, it's like you warm up.
Right.
And I'm like, no, but I'm freezing at the beginning. I'm miserable.
Right.
And I think that's why like it's good to like do something that like it is fun. And I think when
Right.
people think the gym is just like, I gotta do this.
Right.
It's like a responsibility on top of the
Right.
things that you
And that's why
already
group
have.
fitness is great, because I got to do this. Now you get to do something together at least.
Yeah.
You're with somebody else. You don't have to just do it by yourself.
You're like part of
So-
the group. You actually like getting encouraged because
right, and that's what as fitness instructors we try to do. We love our members, and we love to get to know their names. We like, again, to know who they are, because we get to see them so often. Like,
and you build your community.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, it's like a friendship group right in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and and I try to encourage members to come, and everybody's a little different, and I'm a little bit more silly, and I like to be silly and fun and just happy, because I feel like if I'm happy,
You want to be there.
yeah,
And that's what
I want to
that's-
be there, and hopefully you also want to be there,
Yeah.
right?
That's the energy that you want to give up. Like you don't.
Right.
It's like going to class and you already know like your professor is like a grump, and you're like, he doesn't even want to be here. Why am I even here, right? Because like you pass that energy on.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's also like something like exercising. Like sometimes there are days it's going to be better than others, and you don't want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I've experienced too, and even my participants, is that sometimes, even as an instructor, you don't want to be there. You're just like, I don't want to be there
It's
today.
one of those
oh
days,
my
like,
gosh,
I'm
I gotta work.
tired,
I have to
yeah.
work out today. Oh gosh, I'm teaching the class. I guess I'm working out today.
Yeah.
But once you get there and you start teaching and you smile and you see everybody just smiling right back at you, it's so worth it. And again, it's you go online and you find a program that you would like to teach, and you get certified in that. Also, if I backtrack a little bit, you also can get, like if you go to something like a company called like Fit Tour, or that's another company, you can get a group exercise certificate and do some of the stuff online if you can't make it into the trainings or into.
So you don't
yeah.
have to be in person. They also like.
They do it virtual too. Yes.
that's great,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. After, COVID hit, before, I call it BC, before COVID. BC, it wasn't like that. But afterwards,
They
yes,
tailor it better,
they
yeah.
tailor it better. They do it online. Lots of people like to do it because they don't have to leave, especially because it can get expensive if you have to travel somewhere to do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like in Albuquerque, there's, trainings do come in, and you can just take them here, which is nice.
Because like also like you have that opportunity. I think it's also good that like to know what opportunities are out there for somebody who's like thinking of doing fitness instructor, like, as a living or something fun or hobby or whatever it is that they're
Right.
looking for. Because like I said, it's just like there are information out there, but not sometimes they're not localized, right?
Right.
So like a lot of the articles are coming from like big cities, and you
Right.
just like you're like, but I don't live in New York. Like how how do I start?
Right,
this?
right, yeah. So
You know
you
what I
just you
mean?
go online,
Yeah.
the Les
Yeah.
Mills one that I do. If not, what you do is you ask your gym.
Oh,
So
okay.
instructors will let you know how to be an instructor, or if it's something you want to do. And the best part is they're so supportive.
Yeah.
Like I have never met an instructor that's not supportive of me or what I do. And then when you start it, it's a scary thing, right? So you get all this information, they tell you what to do, they tell you the choreography, and then they're like, go,
Yeah.
right? And so you go, and it's a little intimidating. However, there's so many instructors that have been doing this for years, and they love to help, and they love to have guidance and guide you to be the best who you're going to be, right? You
Yeah.
work on a team.
Yeah. And I think that's the greatest thing. It's just like knowing that like you're not alone in your journey.
You are
Right.
not,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. And again, like sometimes you go up there and it's not going to be the best ever. but you learn, and then the next time, it's great. And again, a lot of the participants are very understanding about that. They're not mean. They're not
Judgy.
they're not judgy. A lot of them are not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say maybe some of them, but then they get used to you and they know that you're new, and you have a little grace.
Yeah.
So-
And like you said that you do offer classes. What are the days for your classes? Like what time, that kind of
Okay,
stuff?
so I teach on Sunday mornings, actually. So tomorrow, if I want to see you, I teach over at Define Fitness, and it's at the Rio location. So it's up in Enchanted Hills. I teach there at 10 a.m., and I would love to see you. And I also teach at the Mesa location, Define Fitness. This is all with Define Fitness. I teach at the Mesa location, that's on Central and Unser, at 5:30 a.m. So it's one of the early
I'll be
ones.
sleeping.
It's one of the early ones, but I'm full of energy. So, and that class is fantastic. So we have a lot of energy at that time. And then, and I also teach at Metro at 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday mornings, and that's the one over at San Mateo.
Okay.
San Mateo, it's like San Mateo and Osuna.
Oh, okay.
And so those are the 3 classes that I teach. They're all RPM classes, so cycle.
So like just like one more tidbit for like anybody that are like starting to work out, because like expectations versus reality, right? People go to the gym and they think like I'm gonna be buff in a month,
No.
right? So like how, like for somebody who's maybe new, haven't started in a while, like what should be their expectations? Like how long till they actually like start seeing results?
About 3 months.
About 3 months.
I would say about 3 months you start
Okay.
seeing results. I mean, it does take a while. You have to, know that like what you're doing, and it all depends too. Like, fitness is fantastic, and it's great for your bones. It's great for your hearts. It's great for all, internally. Just,
I mean, I feel like
yeah.
I'm dying every time I
Right,
do
right.
it.
You feel like you're dying, but it gets better.
Yeah.
Like after a while, like you don't feel like you're dying
The
as
endorphins
much.
like kicking in and
Well,
like
you don't feel like you're dying as much. You still feel like you're dying, but you're not on the floor already.
Yeah.
So you do get stronger, and again, it's a process. If your goal is to lose weight, I know a lot of people's goal is to lose weight, and it's not the only goal.
staying healthy.
Right, right.
You know.
Because I mean, if you look at me, like I lost 125 pounds. So now, what was my goal?
Yeah.
It was to maintain my
yeah.
weight. It was to stay happy. It was to stay healthy. It was a break from my family.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. It was just a mental break from my family. It was somebody else telling me what to do rather than me
Doing
trying
mental list every day.
yeah, rather than me telling other people what to do. And now I do tell other people what to do. And I hope they listen. Maybe they don't, but they're still on the, we're still getting a workout together. As long as your feet are moving, you're working out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I think like I said, it's just like I think for mostly everybody, exercising is always like so daunting, so scary. Where do you start? Where do I go? And
Right.
and then on top of that, like what if this is actually what you want to do in life?
Sure.
You know? So it's just like I said, it's just like how do you start? Where do you even start? And some people are like, kind of skimmish and like, they don't want to like ask too many questions. They're
Right.
a little bit shy. So like they try to just Google it themselves.
Right, and this industry is great if you have young kids, because you could just bring them. You could
Yeah.
just bring them and then teach and just be with your friends. It's fantastic. And again, you make sure you ask a group fitness instructor, ask the group fitness managers. They would help you, and find something that you love. So make sure that you take the class and you like it before
You
I'm
commit
just going
to
to be
it.
certified in this, right?
Yeah.
Right. Make sure that helps. It helps a lot.
So like there is like some grace period to like actually like doing the classes and stuff.
There's grace, yes, and there's still, because I think everybody can be better, right? Like just
Yeah.
like any other job.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I mean, everybody has their strengths and have their weaknesses, and for me, my strength is cycling, but I also teach core. I sub out core. And that is not my strength. That is something that I have to work on. It's a lot of work for me.
But-
I have to work on, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think like challenges are also good, because like you get strengthened by it. You learn.
Right.
It's always good to learn your weakness, because like then you know that like okay, either I don't like this, right? Or maybe I can push myself to do something
Right.
about this kind
Right.
of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have other people helping you push yourself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a little daunting to push your own self.
Yeah. And I
So-
think also like I think that's why like some people like the gym community because like you're not alone in your journey. There's other people cheering for you. You're cheering for other people.
Right.
You know, you watch their journey.
Oh
they
yeah,
watch your journey.
especially like when my journey came and I lost all of my weight, I had so many people cheering for me. There was no negativity. I was a big person with a lot of insecurities when I walked into the gym,
Yeah.
and the gym culture, nobody's making fun of you. Everybody's cheering you on.
I think everybody's just trying their best.
Right. Everybody's
Right.
trying their best. Everybody cheers you on. They want you to be successful. Yes.
And I think that's the kind of environment that you want to have
Right.
in any parts of your life.
Right.
You know, you want to be surrounded by people that are like rooting for you, supporting you, actually like paying attention to you,
Right.
giving you that attention. That
Right.
like you're not just like, another paying customer. Like,
Right.
it's just another
Right.
number.
Right.
You're just, that's all you really are.
Right. You want to feel nurtured, and you do. Like if you come to my class, I happily accept you. I mean, anybody's classes really, and you do, and that's how I felt when I first started. Like I just felt so welcomed.
I am definitely gonna be like, maybe not right now, but like I did see your class and I'm just like, I don't know, this kind of like sounds exciting
I
because you
do.
posted it on Facebook, so I was just like, this really sounds interesting. Maybe
Yeah.
I should really give it a try because like I said, it's just like I do want to try like different things, and I had some friends in New York that like really love cycling, like they got so obsessed with it.
Right.
I think so, like, and that's why like some of them did buy like Peloton when the pandemic comes.
Right.
But I think they also did say that like that community is just nice to be in a room, you're all cycling together, you're all doing the same thing,
Right.
following the beat of the music, that kind of thing.
Right. And it is fun. And so
Yeah.
I would love to have you in my class. I would love to have any of you.
So everybody, try Rebecca's class. She cannot wait to see you guys. And if you want to feature your business, you can actually email or do the website and also our contact number. We will be putting it out on the screen. So if you want your business to be featured or your story to be featured for In Hindsight, please contact us. We would love to know your story. We would love to know, why, New Mexico is great for you. And I'm your host, Day, and we will see you on the next episode.